So, most of you dudes have been watching me for a while now, and most of you have also seen a girl like this in my videos. And her name is Brandy. I first put her in my anxiety video. That is very cringe and would not watch at all. Well, she is a real person, and I finally talked to her. So let's go back and tell the tale of the Brandy. Once upon a time, I was walking in the hallway, just minding my own business, until I saw Brandy. And my God, this was groundbreaking. She has her shit together. And that, my friends, was a hyperfixation like no other. The next day, I talked to my friend George about this girl, how she has her shit together, how she has so many friends while I only have one. And every day I went to George during class and kept talking about Brandy. It got so bad that George was probably regretting ever sitting next to me. But hey, that's what friends are for, right? Listening to your random obsessions. And most of you are thinking, "Oh, Nassan, you have a crush on her." Well, I don't have a crush on her, I have a general liking to her. But not a crush. I get really tunnel visioned and kinda hyperfixate on people I want to meet. And Brandy was one of them. After a while, I wanted to talk to her, but I had anxiety. So I wanted to make my friend, George, show her my YouTube channel. And George is going to be a major part of this story. Anyways, he couldn't show her the channel even if he had classes with her. He told me right away. So I told him I had a hyperfixation on her. And George thought I had a crush on her. "Hey George, I have a hyperfixation on Brandy." "Talk to her already." "I can't." "Talk to her or you have a crush on her." And that was how I was peer pressured to talk to Brandy. So I told him to set up a convo during lunch, because that was the only time I saw her. And let me tell you how that went. Spoiler alert, it went terribly. "Hey, how was your day?" "It was good. How about you?" "It was good. Bye." And my friend George was so disappointed at me. You know how your dad was disappointed at you, right? Yeah, it was like that. He had that, "I'm not mad," just a disappointed expression on his face. So when I got to sixth period, I begged him to set up another one. "Please, George, please set up another one. I won't fumble again. Please, George, please." And he said, "Okay." The next day after that, I got sick because I ate some cereal and vanilla wafers and vomited for no reason, and then I stayed home. I uploaded a video, so that was cool. The day after that, I weaseled my way into not talking to her. Because if you know, she moved tables or something and I couldn't find her. And the day after that, I am going to be very real with you here. This is the lowest point of my life. Please don't think too much less of me after what happened that day. I got out of third period, went to the lunchroom, encountered George, and he made me talk to her, obviously. I talked to her, and bro, I was interviewing her like a news reporter interviewing citizens. "Here is Nassan's dad impacting the Wall Street Journal. How does it feel impacting the stock market?"
"It feels good. I want to thank my family, except my failure son Nassan, who decided to do animation instead of cybersecurity."
My dad didn't actually call me a failure. I was asking her questions. "What classes have you been to? Where are you from? What do you like doing?" That was some of the most awkwardest shit I have ever did in my life. Later, while walking to fifth period, I told George how it went, and he said she thought it was awkward. Yippee! I fumbled a second time in a row. Oh God, thanks Brandy for talking to me after these two, because if I was her, I wouldn't talk to him anymore. But this is a third of the story, might I remind you. That same day, our school implemented a weird system called bears. If you're a good kid, you get good grades, you get rewarded. I mean, I have to get good grades or I will get punished. Nassan! You got a B in algebra? I never seen a failure in my life! The first one was the ice cream social, where you get ice cream and talk. Now, none of my friends, which was 2, was there, but Brandy was there.
Ha ha ha.
Now, I expected her to be with her 2 friends like they were in the lunchroom, but she has like 20 friends somehow, while I have 2 that weren't even there in the ice cream social to begin with. Well, shit. Guess I'm not able to talk to her then. So I just sat there awkwardly, staring at her. And then I tried to get her attention while I was getting back to class. Maybe she ignored me. Maybe she was talking so loud to her friends. But that was hitting rock bottom. Thanks for talking to me even after that awkward staring thing I had. If that was another girl, they would have ignored me. Anyways, I went back to 6th period and raged at George. This was the 4th fumble, by the way. So George was livid at me. He was pissed off. He called me a failure, and he said he will set up one last one. And if I fumble again, he will never be my friend. Now, you might think he is a bad friend, right? No. It was to motivate me to finally have a normal-ass, non-awkward conversation with Brandy. And you know how that went? I walked into the lunchroom, and I just stood there. And so I had to lie to George that I fumbled another time. And he knew that I was lying. And he ignored me until I talked to Brandy. So the next day, I talked to her in the most normal conversation possible. And I finally talked to her without fumbling. But this is only half the story here, my dudes. I decided to talk to her every day-ish. There is one where I asked her to be in a video, and she was chill about it. Just don't put her name in there. Anyway, here's her home address, mother's maiden name, social security number, and IP address. Also, her real name is... There's this one where I ranted to her about anxiety. It's kind of funny how I can rant to her, but if I do it to someone else... Hey, I hate anxiety. It sucks so hard. I can't even write a single email to an animation YouTuber without anxiety on my back.
Yeah, I'm going to go now.
Wow, I didn't even get into the good part. There's this one time where I tried to talk to her and I couldn't because Brandy and her friend were having a dope conversation. So I just went in and just left. Now, that is one of the top 10 cringe moments of all time. Like when I'm going to sleep and your brain just decides to put on a top 10 cringe compilation and I think about this. Top 10 cringe compilation. Number 1. Anyways, you may not believe this, but Brandy has impacted my life in a better way. Now some of you are asking, Nassan, how can this random girl impact your life in such a way? Well, let's see. Every time I talk to her, I get the worst anxiety. It sucks. I want to talk to her, but anxiety makes hypothetical scenarios even though she's a very nice girl. What if she roasts the crap out of me? What if she puts me in her group chat and roasts me there? Even hearing her name gives me anxiety. Dude, Brandy texted me like 100 times during class. I know, right? I think it's another Brandy. There are hundreds of Brandys. Right? Right? Anyways, the good part is that every time I talk to her, I get less anxiety and more confidence. Really helpful, even though I still have a lot of anxiety while talking to her. I recently started a webcomic. Follow my Twitter if you want epic comics. And my first comic was about Brandy. You know what? Let's read it. So I wanted to talk to Brandy, but you embarrassed me. Sorry, it was one time and I'll never do it again. Then he gave me a book on how to talk to girls. And I still fumbled the conversation. Fumble foreshadowing, am I right? If I wouldn't have seen Brandy, I wouldn't have made comics. So give a big thank you to Brandy. Your existence has made me make comics and YouTube shorts. My first YouTube short was about Brandy. So basically, if I never saw this girl, I wouldn't have been here today. But there is one side of me. A side who envies her. A side of me who is jealous of her. How she is smarter than me. How she has loads of friends while I barely have any. How she has everything easy while I have everything hard for me. How she is organized and has her shit together. How she's made me into a better person. Made me more confident, strong, and made me push myself to my limits. Made me do things I never thought of doing. She's made me into a better me. There are infinite universes. Many possibilities where none of this could have happened. And yet, it happened. From this smart, intelligent, awesome, chill, cool, amazing person like her, Brandy. So one day, I decided to tell her how much she has impacted my life and how I really wanted to be her friend. So that day, the conversation of a lifetime, I went there, stronger, better. I used to stutter every sentence to being really energetic and fun. I went in and wait, who's that? It's alternate universe, Nassan. What happened? I went to them and they, roasted me. How's Brandy in your universe? She's a jerk, popular girl who bullies everyone. Here, she's the opposite of a jerk. Oh, okay. I wish you well, other universe, Nassan. Apparently, there's a version of Brandy who's a high school bully. But I'm going to assume that there's also a version where she's like my lifelong best friend. Multiverse theory is wild like that. Even if she doesn't like you, at least she's a nice person. Okay. I went into the lunchroom. And I talked. I talked about how she's impacted my life, how I liked her, and I heard the dreaded words. To be honest, I don't like you that much. Kinda hurt. But I was just a random ass dude just spawning into her life. And honestly, I would kinda do the same if I was her. But I came out of this a really strong, a better animator than before, a smarter person, a more confident person. And even if she doesn't like me, I still really like her. She's impacted my life in such a meaningful way. She's kind of a role model to me. You're such a sim. Anyway, if I had never met her, I would have never been who I am today. Through all the ups, downs, awkward, weird moments, has given me strength, confidence, inspiration, and excitement. So, Brandy, if you are seeing this, thank you. I know this is weird coming from some random ass guy, but I am eternally grateful and kind of indebted to you in a way. So, Brandy, one last time, deep down, thank you for making me who I am today. So, I read this book today. It's called How to Be a Financial Wizard. I got it from the book fair the other day. It's such an awesome book. Like, it teaches you how to be rich and successful as a woman. Oh yes, girl, you should keep reading it. It's an awesome book. Oh yeah, totally. So what happened to that random guy who kept talking to you in the middle of October? Oh yeah, I rejected him. Like a boss. What if he makes a video on you? Oh yeah, that'll never happen in like a million years. Well, guess I have to tell her I made a video on her. Hope I don't get rejected again.